The bell above the bakery door chimed softly at exactly 7:13 a.m., the kind of gentle sound most people ignored, but to Naomi Carter, it meant everything. It meant another customer. Another chance. Another few dollars toward rent, school fees, and survival. Naomi wiped her flour-dusted hands on her apron and lifted her head. She didn't know it yet, but that sound was the beginning of a miracle that would change 3 lives forever. The bakery smelled like warm bread, cinnamon, and sugar. Sunlight slipped through the front windows in thin golden lines, landing on rows of fresh loaves and pastries arranged with almost obsessive care. Naomi had been up since 3 a.m., just like every other morning, kneading dough while the city slept, humming soft gospel songs under her breath. She was tired, but tired had become her normal. At 29, Naomi was already worn in ways most people didn't see. A single mother. A widow before 25. No safety net. No rich relatives. Just her 8-year-old son Malik, and a quiet promise she made to herself after the funeral. My child will never feel abandoned in this world. The man who walked into the bakery that morning didn't look like someone who belonged there. He wore a tailored charcoal coat, expensive without screaming it. His posture was stiff, controlled. One hand rested protectively on the handle of a wheelchair. In that wheelchair sat a little girl, no older than 6 or 7, with chestnut brown hair pulled into 2 neat pigtails. Her legs were covered with a soft blanket, her hands folded in her lap. Her eyes were bright, observant, and impossibly sad for someone so young. Naomi felt something tug in her chest. The man looked around the bakery, visibly uncomfortable, like someone who had spent most of his life in boardrooms and penthouses, not places with cracked tile floors and handwritten price signs. He cleared his throat. "Good morning," he said, his voice low, restrained. Naomi smiled automatically. "Good morning, sir. Welcome in." The little girl's eyes locked onto the display case. "Daddy," she whispered, "it smells like heaven." The man's expression softened instantly. "That's because it is, sweetheart," he replied quietly. Naomi didn't know his name. She didn't know he was Elliot Harrington, one of the youngest self-made billionaires in the country. She didn't know his face appeared on magazine covers or that his companies employed tens of thousands. All she saw was a tired father. "What can I get you today?" Naomi asked. Elliot glanced at the menu board like it was written in another language. What do you recommend?" Naomi chuckled softly. "Depends. Sweet tooth or something filling?" The little girl lifted her hand shyly. "Do you have chocolate croissants?" Naomi's smile widened. "Fresh out of the oven. Best in the city, if you ask me." "I'll take 2, Elliot said quickly, then paused. "And whatever she wants." The girl smiled, small and careful. "And a blueberry muffin, please." Naomi nodded and turned toward the display, carefully boxing the pastries. As she worked, she glanced back at the wheelchair, at the way the girl's legs lay unnaturally still. She'd seen that look before. Her younger brother had needed a wheelchair after a childhood accident. She knew the stares, the silence, the way parents carried guilt like a second spine. As Naomi rang them up, Elliot reached for his wallet. "Sir," Naomi said gently, "today's special includes a free cookie for kids." The little girl's eyes widened. "Really?" Naomi winked. "Really?" She added a warm chocolate chip cookie to the box. Elliot hesitated. "That's kind of you." Naomi shrugged. "Kids deserve good mornings." They took a small table by the window. Naomi watched discreetly as the girl nibbled her croissant, crumbs dotting her blanket. "Daddy," the girl said after a moment, "can we come back here again?" Elliot swallowed. "Of course." Naomi turned back to her work, but she couldn't shake the feeling in her chest. Something about them lingered. An hour later, as the morning rush slowed, Elliot rolled the wheelchair back to the counter. "Excuse me," he said. "I just wanted to say, thank you." Naomi smiled. "You're welcome." "My daughter," he hesitated, then sighed. "She doesn't smile much these days." The girl looked down. Naomi leaned forward slightly. "What's your name, sweetheart?" "Lily," she whispered. "Well, Lily," Naomi said softly, "your smile just made my whole morning." Lily looked up, surprised, and smiled again. Elliot's eyes glistened. He nodded once, sharply, like a man fighting emotion, and left. Naomi thought that would be the end of it. She was wrong. The next morning, the bell chimed again at 7:13. Same man. Same wheelchair. Same little girl. Naomi's heart skipped. "Good morning," Elliot said, this time with the ghost of a smile. "Back for heaven?" Naomi teased. Lily giggled. They came again the next day. And the next. Sometimes they ordered pastries. Sometimes just coffee and a cookie. They never stayed long, but every time, Lily talked a little more. Smiled a little wider. One rainy morning, Naomi noticed something. Lily was trying to move her foot. Just a tiny twitch, but Naomi saw it. Her breath caught. She said nothing. She didn't want to give false hope. She knew better than that. But that night, she couldn't sleep. Naomi had grown up in a deeply spiritual household. Her grandmother used to say, "God hides miracles in ordinary hands." The next time Elliot came in, Naomi hesitated before speaking. "I don't want to overstep," she said carefully, "but has Lily always been unable to move her legs?" Elliot stiffened. "No," he said quietly. "It happened 2 years ago. Spinal trauma. We've seen the best doctors in the world." Naomi nodded. "I figured." "There's nothing else to be done," Elliot added, almost defensively. Naomi paused. "My grandmother used to work with children like Lily," she said softly. "Not doctors. Just faith, patience, and unconventional therapy." Elliot gave a sad smile. "We've tried everything." "I know," Naomi said. "But sometimes, everything isn't finished yet." He didn't respond. The next week, Lily didn't come. Or the week after. Naomi worried she'd said too much. Then, one afternoon, just before closing, the bell rang. Elliot stood there, eyes hollow. "Can we talk?" he asked. Naomi nodded and locked the door. He sat heavily at a table. "She cried all night," he said. "Because she wanted to see you." Naomi's throat tightened. "She says you make her feel normal." Elliot looked up, his billionaire composure shattered. "I don't know how to help my daughter anymore." Naomi took a deep breath. "Then let me try," she said. The room fell silent. Elliot stared at her. "You?" he asked. "I won't charge you," Naomi said. "I won't promise anything. I just want permission." He laughed weakly. "Permission for what?" "To believe," Naomi replied. Days later, in Elliot's mansion, marble floors, glass walls, silence heavier than wealth, Naomi knelt beside Lily. She didn't bring machines. She brought stories. Music. Gentle touch. Encouragement. Faith. Every day, after bakery shifts, Naomi came. Weeks passed. Nothing happened. Then one afternoon, Lily cried out. "Daddy!" she shouted. Elliot rushed in. "I felt it," Lily said, tears streaming. "I felt my toes." Elliot fell to his knees. Doctors were called. Tests run. There was activity. Months later, Lily stood. Wobbly. Shaking. Standing. Elliot wept openly, holding Naomi's hands. "You gave me my daughter back," he sobbed. Naomi shook her head. "No," she said. "She did." At the grand opening of a new rehabilitation center funded by the Harrington Foundation, Elliot stepped up to the microphone. "This building exists," he said, voice breaking, "because a single mom working in a bakery believed when I couldn't." The crowd rose in applause. Naomi stood in the back, tears streaming, Malik holding her hand. Lily ran, into her arms. And for the first time in years, Naomi let herself believe in miracles too.